August 2019 and the New Lodge hits the headlines for all the wrong reasons. Bonfires, street trouble and antisocial behaviour, creating the impression that it's a very bad and dangerous place to live and somewhere to stay away from. I'm someone who is really proud to be from the New Lodge, and I can honestly say the scenes of trouble which took place here don't tell the real story about our community, because at the very same time, just around the corner, a fantastic community carnival was taking place where hundreds of local people were out enjoying themselves. Away from the TV cameras and the journalists, the story that the media didn't bother to cover was happening right here in Leper Street as a colourful carnival day was in full swing. The carnival was just one event in our annual community festival, which every year sees the people from the New Lodge come together in celebration. In this short film, we want to show everyone an alternative picture of what the New Lodge was really like in August 2019. Just like previous years, the 2019 festival programme contained dozens of fun-filled and interesting events and activities. We estimate that over 5,000 people took part in our festival this year, not only locals, but visitors from far and near. This year's festival was a great success. But don't just take my word for it. Let's see what local people thought when we asked them, did the festival help promote North Belfast positively?
I believe events like this promote North Belfast positively. I think North Belfast in previous years has got a lot of bad press, but things like this really paint it in a real positive light.
It gives children something to do other than being out in the streets, and it promotes arts to everyone.
It brings the community together.
It's branded New Lodge Arts, but people from the New Lodge, people from Glengormley, Shankill, they're all brought together, and it makes it positive because, you know, they're not seen as, you know, Protestant or Catholic, they're seen as cast members.
I think it's brilliant for the kids. There's must be over 100 kids here playing today. Cross-community element of it, it's super. The kids are getting to know each other, especially from such a young age. It's great to see them getting to know each other, and it's probably making friends for life from it.
The event today, like the colour run, there was a really good turnout. It was fantastic seeing the amount of people that were down. There was all ages, like there was kids, like mums and dads, grannies. There was actually people running, like pushing their kids in the pram. Like everyone was just having a laugh. It was good.
It's the people in North Belfast that are coming together for great events like this here, and inadvertently raising awareness of social issues, the likes of mental health and stuff like that. But all they're doing is coming together and having a laugh. That's the main thing. It's just coming together, just showing great community spirit.
Events like this here certainly do help promote North Belfast very positively.
Well, I'm here with my grandson, and to see him enjoy himself, to see the other kids enjoy themselves, and to see the smiles on their parents and grandparents' faces brightens everyone up.
It brings people together and families and all come and see each other and enjoy with their kids.
The news tends to focus on all the bad news stories, riots and stuff like that there.
Things like this are brilliant to get the community together and get a bit of morale back again.
I'm from Minnesota in the US. To be honest, at first I was a little nervous just because of all the things that I had seen negatively, like with the bonfire and everything like that. But it's been amazing. It's been so fun. I'm so glad that I came here during this time. I didn't know anything like this was happening, and it reminds me a lot of home because everybody's just so friendly and great and welcoming, and obviously with all the kids running around, it's really beautiful.
Because you see all your friends and all, and then you get to have lots of fun. It's really good, and there's lots of bouncy castles and face paints.
It brings families together. You're safe. You're in a safe environment with your kids. They're not standing about, you know where they are, they're with you, and it's just fantastic the stuff they put on for the kids to do. There's loads for them to do.
We then asked people if they thought the festival could help reduce antisocial behaviour.
I think events like this definitely help antisocial behaviour because young people are seen as negative and always have negativity surrounding them, so stuff like this keeps them off the streets, keeps them out of trouble, and just lets them have fun and be free to be who they want to be.
Definitely think this helps reduce antisocial behaviour because it's bringing two different religions together. Right behind me here, probably know the New Lodge, and up around there, the Shankill Estate. Maybe people from there coming in here, and that's both religions together, just having a bit of crack with each other.
Well, if the events were aimed more for teenagers, it might help a wee bit more.
I think events like this provide a positive alternative to the negative sort of options within communities. As it says, people get to come here, take part in the amazing scenery, the amazing sort of atmosphere.
I'm a young person myself, and if there wasn't events like this here, I'd probably be in the street corners drinking.
It shows them that the mix with other people is a good thing, and maybe they'll stray from antisocial behaviour like that.
Young people need to see events like this and need to see that there's a positive impact on their community and a positive place to play, and not just kind of hang around areas where there is antisocial behaviour.
Stay away from the antisocial behaviour, because you're not going to get a job when you're older. You get a criminal record. As I went through the antisocial behaviour and been through it and get caught, and you don't get a job when you're older when you have a criminal record.
This is the kind of things I want my kids to grow up with, see. Not anything, not any antisocial behaviour. I want them here to enjoy themselves, but there's lots for them to do.
Sure, we have problems here in the New Lodge, but there is also a positive side to our story too. We are a proud community filled with talent, energy, creativity and passion. We have hope for the future. The festival was just one example of this. Building on the positives, we can keep moving forward until we make our community the best it can be. We can all make a positive difference, because the choices we make today have a lasting impact on not only our own lives now, but on the future happiness and well-being of the next generation.
My name's Anne Delaney and I'm the Arts Programme and Operations Manager for New Lodge Arts. The social action project is called Our Place, Our City. It's a documentary film making project we're delivering in partnership with Belfast Bohemian Productions. The film is centred around the Belfast Agenda, which is Belfast City Council's vision for 2035. So the purpose of the film is to work with 2 local young people to explore local social issues, such as housing, education and the impact of local poverty. An important aspect of this project is that the young people learn by doing. They've taken part in several Zoom workshops and then they put what they've learned about filmmaking into practice. They've been out and about in the local community, interviewing community representatives and putting what they have learned into practice. The young people have been involved in every stage of the documentary filmmaking process from start to finish, and will now have created a documentary based on the impact of the Belfast Agenda on the local community. I think it's very important that young people have a voice, especially those living within disadvantaged communities. This project gives the young people an opportunity to explore the Belfast Agenda and the promises it makes for a brighter Belfast. These young people are the future, and through creative projects like this, it helps them to find their voice and challenge issues that will affect them, their families and the communities in which they live. This project has benefited New Lodge Arts in many ways, but more importantly, it has inspired young people to consider filmmaking as a powerful tool to explore issues that affect them and their communities, as well as developing new skills and experiences.
My name's Amy Smith, and my main part within the project was learning about filmmaking.
Hi, I'm Thomas, and I'm one of the young people involved in the making of this documentary short film.
We hope to highlight within the film the ideological standpoint that is outlined within the document, stating that every young person will have a job once they leave education, and that there's 66,000 new homes for people within the community. We want to challenge this idea and also ask them what they believe to be within this document.
I think it's really important for young people to have a voice, especially with the current political situation in places like Northern Ireland. It just helps us open up our minds to outside of our communities and keep in mind that there are other people in other communities that are affected by the same issues. It's us allowing us to open up other people's minds and showing them that you can make a change just by doing something very simple.
Through this project, I have learnt a lot about filmmaking and the process it takes to learn how to make a film and a documentary, the amount of information that we need to know to interview these people. And also, I believe the Zoom classes that we took online allowed us to understand a lot more about what it takes to make a documentary, especially on a topical situation like this.
I've really enjoyed filming this documentary. It's just helped me open my mind more to issues that have been going on in the area and surrounding areas. Later on down the line, if I ever wanted to pursue any career in that area, I know that I would be able to kind of pick up from where I left off after filming this documentary.
Belfast has a population of nearly 340,000 people. It's young people like me, under the age of 21, that make up nearly a third of its population, making it one of the youngest cities in Europe. However, for a long time now it has been reported that the New Lodge area of North Belfast has suffered from many problems. You might have already heard about some of these issues being reported in the media. Over the years, many different government departments have tried to explain the causes and reasons for these problems. They have also come up with lots of different plans they say can fix these issues. In November 2017, Belfast City Council published a document called the Belfast Agenda, which sets out a vision of what Belfast could look like by the year 2035. My name's Thomas.
My name is Amy. In this short film, we want to look at the Belfast Agenda to try and make sense of what it is all about. The Belfast Agenda is our city's first community plan, created by a strong partnership led by Belfast City Council. It identifies the work that we will all focus on to unleash the energy and ability that exists in our people and communities.
We are ambitious and inclusive. We have come together to set stretching goals that will create a better quality of life for all. We want sustainable success for the city, and we want to make sure this success reaches everyone who lives here.
Defining the Belfast Agenda has been a cooperative effort. We are grateful to the people across the city for sharing with us their views of the challenges and opportunities we face, and for telling us about the Belfast they want to work and live in, the Belfast we want to create.
Well, this all sounds really good, and I have to say, when you read through the document, it's filled with lots of great ideas. So what does the Belfast Agenda really mean for the people of the New Lodge? Does it really give new hope, or is it just going to promise everything and deliver very little?
To help us understand the document and the issues contained within it, we decided to do some interviews. We began by speaking to a long-term resident and community activist in the New Lodge, Liam Wiggins. Liam is a chairperson of the New Lodge Housing Forum and also a member of the New Lodge Safer Streets Committee.
Thanks very much for meeting us today, Liam. First of all, can I ask you what the New Lodge Housing Forum is and what does it do?
The New Lodge Housing Forum was formed about 30 years ago to deal with issues relating to local housing need. It's a collection of local residents groups from different parts of the New Lodge. To put it in a nutshell, we're here to help and support people. It's impossible to explain everything in a short interview, but some of the main issues we deal with include addressing housing need and shortage, poor living conditions, overcrowding, waiting lists, high-rise living, repairs and maintenance, neighbourhood disputes, and problems and complications arising from the allocations and the points system. We also have been to the forefront working, campaigning and lobbying on various related issues including redevelopment, community safety, interfaces and community relations, and the general physical living environment.
The Belfast Agenda promises that Belfast will be a great place to live. What does this mean to you as a resident of the New Lodge?
A massive problem in the New Lodge is poor housing conditions and shortage. Take the Upper Long Streets. We were promised years ago that this part of the area would be redeveloped, but it didn't happen. These houses are a century old and no longer fit for purpose. The Belfast Agenda promised to grow the city by increasing the population by 70,000. Well, if they wanted to do that, then it would be a good idea to start providing proper housing now for the people already living in the area.
Our next interview is with community development worker with the Ashton Community Trust, Paul O'Neill. The Belfast Agenda document promises that Belfast will be a great city to live in by 2035. What do you think this means for the people of the New Lodge?
Well, there already has been a huge level of investment in Belfast city centre and other places like the Titanic Quarter, the Cathedral Quarter, the new Ulster University campus area, the Laganside and waterfront areas, to name but some. But in inner city communities like the New Lodge, people haven't really felt the benefits of that regeneration. They feel left out. For example, if you take this area here, Victoria Barracks, built in the 1960s, but today, in many ways, it is no longer fit for purpose, either in terms of its utility or its design. Parts of the area have become very run down, and people living in this area have to endure a whole range of serious and persistent social problems that blight their lives. Yet the standard response from the powers that be down through the years has been to tell people, well, there isn't much money around, there's not much resource, so it's limited what we can do for you. And so what you get is a limited responses, which are often stopgap, under-resourced, stick and plaster measures that don't really address the problems and don't create the change that people need. So yes, the Belfast Agenda contains a very positive vision for the future of the city, but communities like this can't rely on promises that things are going to be great in 15 or 20 years' time. They need to see real change happening in their neighbourhood right now, and they need to be part of shaping that change.
In our next interview, we have been given the opportunity to speak directly to Belfast City Council. After all, there is no better people to ask questions about the Belfast Agenda document than the organisation who actually wrote it. We're here at Belfast City Hall to speak to Kelly Gilliland, who's the Council's Neighbourhood Service Manager for North Belfast. Kelly, thank you so much for coming out and speaking to us today. I just want to ask, what is it you do within the City Council?
I'm employed as Neighbourhood Services Manager for North Belfast. I'm one of 4 managers. We each have responsibility for a different part of the city, and it basically means that I'm responsible for all our front-facing services provided by the City and Neighbourhood Services Department. So that would be like community safety, parks and cleansing, good relations, community services, your community centres, your leisure centres, and then I have 3 citywide portfolios as well, which would be health, sport and leisure.
In terms of the Belfast City Council, how do you promise to make all your claims made in the Belfast Agenda, such as in areas of the New Lodge that have such a high level of deprivation?
I think the Belfast Agenda document and work has been very high level so far. It was been very city focused. I think a lot of people would acknowledge that. It was the first time we had community planning in Northern Ireland and Belfast, so it was our first cut approach to it. There has been a lot of successes and achievements, but as I say, a lot of the objectives I suppose would have been citywide. A lot of work on health and things like mental health and drugs and alcohol. There was priorities around housing and educational unattainment, and all of those do obviously help long term with deprivation. I think going forward, we want to refresh that now. You can actually log on to your Say Belfast and feedback as an individual or as a community partner or a statutory partner on how you want the new document, the new approach to look. We also work closely in this job that I'm in with our elected members for the area, so I would work closely with the elected members in North Belfast. They come together under the North Area Working Group, and we're hoping to put together area plans, look at priorities for North Belfast, all the communities in North Belfast, and I think that 2-pronged approach are going to help have a much more focused area and neighbourhood slant, if you like, to the Belfast Agenda going forward.
Next, we interview a local youth worker with the Ashton Community Trust, Ruth Kern. Ruth, what are your future hopes for the young people at the New Lodge?
My future hopes for the young people of the New Lodge is that it continues to be a great place for them to live. I hope for them to have great houses, great streets, clean streets, and bright and lots of green areas for them to be able to grow and find out who they are. I also hope for them that it's somewhere that they might want to raise a family. But most importantly, I want the young people of the New Lodge to be proud of where they're from.
Looking out over Belfast Lough, you can really see how beautiful some parts of the city are.
Yeah, and you realise what's possible with some real regeneration in the city. Change like this is needed all over, especially in places like the New Lodge that are feeling left behind.
I know 2035 seems like a long way away, but I believe there is real hope for places like the New Lodge, and I believe that Belfast Agenda can provide that future. If the promises in the Belfast Agenda document come true, and that they are not just for some, but for everyone, it's then we can all say with pride that this truly is our place, our city.
My name is Liam Wiggins and I've been chairman of the New Lodge Housing Forum for many years. We are an umbrella group representing 8 residents groups in the area, and we work for betterment, change and dealing with complaints, helping people get points, that type of thing, anything to do with social housing. We tie in with the New Lodge Safer Streets, and part of that there is to try and improve the conditions and the look of an area like this, like a ghetto area, where we are trying to make things brighter. That way we will hope to stop antisocial behaviour if you light an area up. So we're putting lights in, we're putting hanging baskets in, we're making it look like something people want to live in.
The project we're looking at today is part of an urban regeneration idea, and last year we worked with 10 community groups, and we were looking at underused and problematic spaces in and around the New Lodge area and Ardoyne as well. So the area we're looking at today is called the Pinkerton and Brustley Way, and it's built in the 1960s. You can see from the footage that there's a series of laneways, there's small gardens, but it's quite a hard concrete environment. It's not a normal street. And the idea here is that we give people in the houses the impetus to start growing hanging baskets, plants, and activate their front gardens, and that starts to deal with the kind of neglect in the area. As well, we've done a mural, which you'll see later, and the mural is looking at an area of antisocial behaviour and an area that's not overlooked. So the idea was to introduce something positive into that space.
Today what we're actually doing is we're filling hanging baskets and plant pots for residents who have said that they wanted them. We're going to be going around power hosing their fronts, putting the hanging baskets up, and then eventually installing the lights at the front of their houses. We went round with surveys that we prepared for to do door to door, and we got really good comments back from residents. Residents were delighted to see us at the door. They were delighted of the action plan that we've put into place, which is to clean the whole area up, provide people with hanging baskets, lights at their front doors, plants for the front of their gardens.
Well, I think the survey that we did shows that there's a lot of interest in the project. People are glad to see something happening in the area. So the community will benefit in terms of gardens getting activated, more street cleaning, but also a denser network of the residents themselves. We're organising a WhatsApp group, and that means the residents are enabled to keep in contact with each other, so we facilitated that. And that means that they can respond to issues that occur in the area quicker, and they've got some tools now to deal with cleanups and so on. So the skills that have been developed are working together, organising the social action, getting equipment. We're going to try and get in gardening skills, and the idea is that residents start to learn more about taking care of the front gardens, planting, a little bit more knowledge about how to make a little front garden work. But the other skills that we're looking at is how to deal with problematic areas, how to do cleanups, how to do activation of problem spaces with the mural to try and change attitudes, working with youth groups around that theme of how to do the mural and making the mural.
My name's Frank Quigley. I'm a local community artist. Local social action groups got in touch with me, local community groups, and asked me could I do a mural in this area. The local youth group got involved and suggested doing a painting of Noah. Very high profile case in this area, a lot of sympathy for Noah and his family. Well, there's a lot of young people in their late teens hang about here, and it can appear quite intimidating. There's a lot of people walk up and down, but while we were here, they were actually very friendly with us and sort of expressed an interest in us what mural what was for, and said how pleased they were with it being put up. And usually they would light fires down here, even against this wall and around here. But while we were here, they moved away somewhere else to light their fires. So it seemed to have a positive immediate effect.
Well, we've taken this area, Brushley, Pinkerton and New Lodge, and we're using it as a pilot project. So if it's successful here, we hope to spread it out across the New Lodge, one step at a time. But what this looks like is going to be our guidance for what we want and everything else.
(2020) and the COVID-19 virus emerges around the world, causing a global pandemic and bringing with it a devastating health disaster and economic and social crisis. In communities everywhere, self-help and mutual support have become critical to the well-being and survival of many people, particularly the most vulnerable and disadvantaged. These are extraordinary and indeed historic times, where the simple everyday things that we all once took for granted have been disrupted, and normal life has been completely turned upside down. In Belfast, under the various COVID-19 restrictions, community activists have been forced to adapt their approach to community engagement and support, overcoming the new challenges to deliver help and to ensure the basic needs of so many vulnerable people were able to be met.
here today at the waterworks and doing what we call pop-up positivity, where we've got the likes of Spider-Man, Poppy from the Trolls, Batman. I'm here to basically spread a bit of joy. It's completely random because we're not doing anything to bring large crowds together. So anybody that's in the waterworks, using the services, we're spreading a bit of joy, a bit of happiness and creating positive memories.
My name's Brian Irwin and I work for Cancer Lifeline. Cancer Lifeline is a community-based cancer support organisation. When the pandemic hit at the end of March, it was a bit of a crisis time for everyone, but we at Cancer Lifeline felt very strongly that we wanted to still continue to deliver services, to extend that support to people who obviously needed it more so than ever now. Dealing with the impact of a cancer diagnosis was difficult, never mind the pandemic on top of that. So we've actually revised some of the services, and at the minute we're able to offer telephone counselling, which the clients are linking into and benefiting from. We've adapted some of our complementary therapies, so these can be done as telephone consultations. So the therapist will make contact with the client, make up an aromatherapy or batch flower blend, and then we deliver that to the client's homes. Those particular therapies are very good for supporting people with low mood or anxiety, or if they're having trouble with sleeping. We're still continuing to link people into food banks at this really crucial time as well, because a lot of the clients are shielded. They're not able to go and do their normal shopping. You know, we all assume that people have these family members and neighbours who can do stuff for them, but that isn't always the case. Where there's a great sense of community, there are some people who just don't have that connection, so we can actually assist with that. And that's ultimately what this is about. It's about supporting people, albeit in quite a different way.
My name's Mary Connor. I live in North Belfast and I'm a volunteer with TDK Community Group, which started about 10 years ago. TDK stands for Thorndale, Dunkern and Kinnaird, which are the three streets running into the hub. Our latest kind of venture is the food bank. Now, we're not like all the other food banks. You don't come to us with a voucher from a social worker. You come because you need it. We have had people who have been in the depths of despair. It doesn't matter what colour you are, what religion you are, it depends on your needs, and if you need food, you get it. You have people coming through the door and they are downtrodden. They are so beaten looking. It's awful to see people really begging, and we don't do that in North Belfast, you know. I don't know what it is we do, but we seem to be able to lift spirits somehow or other, and you can get a laugh out of people. They are put at ease. The children can have a wee sweet or a biscuit, and mum, the majority are mums with children. There are men, of course, that come, but with the women and children, I mean, they go away with a bit of a smile, even though their life, we haven't waved a magic wand, but by goodness, a couple of bags of food can put a smile on your face. You know that you're going to have a meal for that evening. People have shown that they enjoy coming to us because they come and they stay on a regular basis. All they get is a cup of tea and a biscuit and a chat, and they love it. I mean, I don't need to get thanks, I don't need to get praise. Just a smile on their face, the fact of them coming back and saying thank you is more than enough.
Right, so the next award.
My name is Mickey, I come from Tommy, and we're here tonight at Gertrude Community Hub just to celebrate our local resilient active youth team. We have a team of leaders who have absolutely smashed their way through COVID, helping the community. Some of them have went through hard times themselves, and obviously they're fighting their own demons, but what they do is they don't care about how they feel. They're out with the community in aim of just helping the community, and for me that needs to be recognised.
What you've actually achieved this year, the hurdles that you've overcome, and the many smiles and glimmers of hope that you've created within the community has been absolutely outstanding.
The reason why we're here tonight is genuinely these guys need recognised. See, for all the work they have done and through what they have went through, just like the rest of us through COVID, I think it's time that we as adults actually accept that some of our youths are going to go on to lead this country, and it's just time that we go, here, I recognise how brilliant you are, and it's time to tell you how brilliant you are. That's it.
My name's Agnes Fraser, and I'm the Welfare Rights Manager here at Taras Jock. Taras Jock has been in existence for 21 years, and we offer welfare rights advice, counselling and training. I'd have to say I probably have the nicest job in the whole world. The people that come and access our services are like our family. They come from many issues. The main one is to maximise their income. We're very pleased to say that we have remained fully operational throughout the COVID period, albeit in a different manner. From March of this year, we saw people who are accessing benefits for the first time ever, and they're finding the whole system complex. They've absolutely no idea where to seek help, how to seek help, and what they may be entitled to. People who have worked and are now actually coming to a food bank to ask for assistance. People who can't pay their utility bills, people who cannot afford gas and electric, they're choosing between heating or eating. My post in Taras Jock gives me immense satisfaction. I get out of bed with the same spring in my step today as I did 21 years ago. The people of North Belfast never cease to amaze me in their generosity of spirit and nature and their resilience. The amount of people that have came to Taras Jock in the last few weeks, dropping off bags of gifts. And these are people who have very little themselves, yet want to give to others. Every year we run a charity programme and we ask people to support us. And we've started that programme this month, and the response that we have has been absolutely amazing. We couldn't survive if it wasn't for the wonderful generosity of the people of North Belfast.
My name's Pastor Albert MacDonald. I've been at the church from about 2015. Antrim Road Baptist Church, which was formed back in 1897. We changed the name of it 2015 to North Belfast Christian Fellowship. Church has always been community centred, community based, and the ethos of the church is to reach out into the community to show God's love in real and practical ways. We started a food bank in the church 2 or 3 years ago. COVID came in and seen a lot of things closed down, and we were able to keep that service running out into the community. At the height of the pandemic, we were probably serving 50-60 families in a day, and that allowed us again to deliver out into the community when people couldn't come to the church. First and foremost, we are a church. As I said, we want to reach out with the love of Christ, but we believe we can do that in practical as well as spiritual ways.
Obviously 2020 has been a really difficult year. There's been plenty of time on our hands to be able to engage with people one-to-one, talk to people, and go for walks with people, like I said, supporting them spiritually and also mentally as well, which I think has been a big part of this, especially for young men who just need someone to talk to and go and kick a ball about and just get out there.
We're strategically located here, 246 Antrim Road. We have good neighbours either side of us, the Taras Jock organisation, and then on the other side, Antrimville Housing. We do believe as a church we are very much part of this community. The community spirit within North Belfast has come to the fore, and we're glad that as a church that we can be part of that. As David says, we're here to meet all of the needs of the person.
My name is Edith McManus and I'm the coordinator of the Lower North Belfast Family Support Hub. Ashton have been the lead body for the Lower North Belfast Family Support Hub since 2015, and at the moment we have about 64 members who provide services to families who live in North Belfast. So these families need to have children between ages of 0 to 18 and who don't have any social services interventions with them at the moment. And we provide what we call early intervention programs. So what we try and do is work with the families as early as they begin to hit that wee bump in the road. I'm a mum myself, so I know bringing up a family can be very challenging. So what we try to do is support our families to have the best results for their families. Since March 2020, when the pandemic really began to hit us in a big fashion, the Family Support Hub still remained open, and we're very blessed that that did happen. Obviously I wasn't able to stay in the office that I was based in Ashton, so the Family Support Hub moved to my kitchen table. But we were very lucky in Lower North Belfast that all our hub members stepped up, still provided all their fantastic and fabulous services to our families. They were impacted in the sense we couldn't provide one-to-one family support that we were very used to. Our face-to-face work is so important to us in Lower North Belfast. Our families really benefit from interacting with all our fabulous services on a one-to-one basis, but this just wasn't possible. But as always, we would expect nothing else from the great services in Lower North Belfast. They stepped up, they rang their families, they emailed them, they even taught our families how to Zoom, things that lots of our families would have said, I could never do that. Our young people were engaged with Zoom, children as young as 8 were Zooming with their mentors. So our services really stepped up and did what they had to do to look after our families in such a very difficult time, when their world was becoming very, very small, when they had very little interaction with other families and with other people and people who they loved. It was fantastic that they at least still had family services to interact with them. One of the most important services that we were able to call on during this time was an Ashton programme, and that was the Ashton Early Intervention Family Support Programme. And our 2 workers there are Caroline and Alana. Caroline is calling her families, ringing them, chatting to them, talking about things that maybe they're concerned about, and helping them to work through some of the issues that they're dealing with during the pandemic.
We've been working in this food bank in the Duncairn for the last 10 to 11 weeks. We were very, very thankful at the start that Bill Shaw and the committee here and the board allowed us to use these premises. We would not have been able to cope with the vast demand on food parcels without these premises, so we're very, very grateful for that there. We're also very grateful for all the volunteers who work here on a daily basis. People come in from all walks of life to give us a hand, and also not forgetting the drivers who deliver these parcels all over North Belfast, West Belfast. Once the deliveries come in, then we would stack them on the tables as you've seen in the big room, and then the volunteers would come in. The volunteers who are really now well oiled in their daily routine, they come in, they just get on with it, they check how many parcels are needed. We have colour-coded parcels, the difference between a large family, pensioners and young people living alone.
The people who use the food bank has changed. That's what I've seen happening. People that wouldn't normally have to access this type of service are very much relying on it.
On a daily basis, we can be delivering anything from 50 parcels till the most we ever delivered on one day was 176 parcels. So that'll kind of give you an idea of the volume of the food that we need to be coming in here.
People are just glad to see us at the door. People are just glad to see that somebody cares. Normally, there would be a stigma attached, sadly, to people that use the food bank. That is no longer the case because it has literally affected everybody. It's across the board.
This has been a fantastic achievement by those people who have come here to help, and by the community who have joined together and helped in these dark days.
The community spirit that we've seen over the last 10 weeks has been phenomenal. It has been out of this world, and we really couldn't have pulled this off without you all.
My name's Anne Delaney and I'm the Arts Programme and Operations Manager for New Lodge Arts, and today we're in the New Lodges Centre with our Christmas Bake Off. So we have 100 packs of chocolate fondants now who are going out to the local community, mostly young people working together with their families to bake these delicious desserts. We started this programme in the summer and over a 6-week period give out 600 baking packs. Various things, profiteroles, pavlova, chocolate fudge cake, all lovely treats. And it was such a success. It gave families something to do during COVID when they were at home and, you know, stuck in the house. And it brought the families together. Like, that was a big outcome for us, was that the families had something to do together. And it was a great success. We came back with a Halloween special and now here today, back with our Christmas special too. As you can see behind me, we have our Christmas baking packs, and inside there is all the ingredients that you need to make 6 chocolate fondants. So lovely for the family, something for them to do to get them together. And our team have been busy over the past few days weighing the ingredients, getting them all together so that the families can have something to make for their Christmas dessert. It's been lovely to see the families coming together and create their wonderful dishes.
Hello everyone, I'm Ivor the Elf, and we are here today in Santa's Magical Grotto, and we're here to tell the story of the New Lodge Gingerbread Man. We have a storybook here which we are giving away to all the boys and girls who come to see Santa. So in the story, the gingerbread man was baked by Mr. and Mrs. McMuffin in the New Lodge Bakery, and they told him that after Christmas they were going to eat him all up. So he wasn't very happy with that idea, so he ran away here to Santa's magical kingdom where it is always Christmas, so he's never going to get eaten. So we've written this story up, and it tells about all his adventures, how he got here, the people he met, and I've got lots of help from the wonderful elves of New Lodge. We've got Twinkle the Elf helping us. So if you've time, come and see me and all my friends in Santa's Magical Kingdom and find out all about the story of the New Lodge Gingerbread Man. Merry Christmas!
Hey, what about just here we are, whoa, in the north.
Delighted to be here in North Belfast tonight.
In the New Lodge, pop, whoa, it's me. Do you not recognise me? I'm a wicked stepma, although I'm not that wicked.
And it's me, Cinderella.
She's looking for a fella too.
Really looking forward till tonight and getting myself a girl. That's what it's all about. Christmas time, know what I mean?
Here, we're in for a gig. You're going to get a treat. We're going to be round the streets, aren't we?
Popping up all over the place.
Hello, my name is Roisin Gallagher. I am an actress and a drama facilitator from Belfast, and we are here with New Lodge Arts this evening in North Belfast to bring pop-up panto Cinderella right into the heart of the communities here.
I'm Christina Nelson, and I'm playing the wicked stepmother, and this is
Jasmine McClure, and I'm playing Cinderella.
And we're in a bubble. I'm her ma.
She's my ma.
Not that you'd know to look at her. Can't wait to get out onto the street and see the little faces of the kids and the mummies and daddies and everybody having a good time. We're going to dance, we're going to sing safely, of course, all in our own little bubbles.
To bring a wee bit of joy and magic and surprise to the community this year. We all know it's not been a great year. People haven't been able to get out to the cinema or the theatre. We're going to be wrapping the doors, getting everybody out of their houses. Despite the weather, get your umbrellas and come on out and have a gig with us.
Merry Christmas, everyone!
Merry Christmas! We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year! Boom.
I'm Anne Delaney and I'm the manager of New Lodge Arts, and we're here tonight at Girdwood Community Hub for the North Belfast Bicycle Parade. The parade took place over 2 nights. We travelled through the streets of North Belfast on illuminated bikes, accompanied by some Christmas music, bringing some much needed Christmas cheer to the area. And we want to wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
My name's Anthony Kerr. I'm the Chief Executive of Newington Housing Association, and we're here today at Camberwell Court, our sheltered scheme on the Limestone Road. This has been an exceptional and unprecedented year. If this had been any other year, we would have this here room here filled with pensioners from various schemes throughout the area enjoying their Christmas dinner. Even though we're in just about to enter another harsh 6-week lockdown, I think it's important that we try and celebrate Christmas as best we can. We're up here today in Camberwell Court Sheltered Scheme, and we're going to Richmond Lodge and the Zoo House to distribute Christmas dinners to the residents, 70 residents, and that's important. They make the residents feel part of the community and keep us connected to the residents. What's amazed me throughout this pandemic is the spirit and resilience of the people in North Belfast. Everyone wants to come together. North Belfast has had bad press throughout the years, but you know, it's a testament that all organisations, community groups, individuals, we've all come together to try and get through this as one cohesive community. I'd like to wish everyone a happy Christmas, a peaceful Christmas, and let's hope that 2021 is a lot better year than 2020.
I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand. Will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never enough, never enough for me, for me, for me. All the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Never enough, never, never, never enough, never, never, never enough for me, for me, for me.
This part of North Belfast was once a vibrant place where people lived and worked. Industry and employment combined street life, which connected into the heart of the commercial city and down to the river's edge. You look at it now and it's full of traffic and parking. The idea of bringing motorways through the centre of the city evolved over 50 years. Today you have 3 motorways converging onto city streets and traffic lights.
It's important to realise this did not have to happen. There were other choices that would have led to better solutions. The main M1 and M2 motorways could have connected behind the mountains, and this would have created a better, faster route for the region and the airport.
The current interchange project is designed to join these motorways together. The flow of traffic reflects a slow arc of history. In the 1970s, the implementation of the motorway required removing thousands of people from their homes. This has created a divided city.
50 years ago this year, Sailortown area was decimated by the new road system that was put in, now known as the M2. The people of Sailortown were dispatched to all different areas of Belfast, and yet again we see today the York Street interchange, which is going to cut off the Sailor Town area yet again.
We're standing outside the Rotterdam Bar in Sailor Town, which was closed about 10 years ago, a place which is well known across Belfast and beyond. The York Street interchange is on its way. We hope that the 3 years of building, instead of having a bad impact on the people down here, will reconnect Sailor Town back into its natural hinterland, which was North Belfast and the city centre.
Had this area remained unscathed, there is little doubt it would have become a thriving place connected to the river. Instead, North Belfast has become completely cut off, and these roads are the real cause of its economic stagnation.
You can see for yourself what it's like, and now they're moving the road even closer to our homes. It's just not right. They say they've consulted with residents, but they haven't taken into account our needs. We're expected to take everything they throw at us and just accept it and say nothing.
We've been given no right to compensation, not even the option to have new windows or doors to help keep down the noise and the dust. This is happening right on our doorstep, but we don't seem to count. Yeah, they say the road's important, but what about us? If we lived in Malone Road, this wouldn't be happening.
The blue area is the extent of redevelopment, 80 acres in total. This will be the largest construction site in the city. Residents and communities will be engulfed.
This area here is the product of previous road building. It's badly maintained, it's an antisocial behaviour hotspot, and it's a blight on this community. I can understand why people in wider society would view the York Street Interchange project, and indeed the new university campus, as positive developments. But if you happen to live in the shadow of those developments, and you have to endure the everyday negative impacts, then you're likely to take a different view. And what really frustrates people is they feel that their needs and their issues and their concerns aren't taken that seriously. They're not given any real priority. And all that does is it leads to greater resentment, and it deepens the sense of exclusion.
One positive is the forthcoming university campus. But even this brings with it tall speculative buildings that block out people's sunlight. There is no wise guiding hand or strategy, and this lack of a connected vision means that opportunities for positive change are being lost.
Our Bunskull is right bang in the middle of all of the construction work being undertaken by the University of Ulster. But when the interchange work kicks off, for a period of 3 or 4 years maybe, we're going to have to live as a school community with the daily distractions and disruptions that this will bring. And it makes our job of helping children thrive and learn an awful lot more difficult and challenging. And it's all happening right here on our own doorstep.
13 temporary road phases will keep the traffic moving, but this means that residents' lives will be disrupted with 3 years of noise, dirt and disruption.
This has become an absolute nightmare. The loud noise, day and night, sometimes non-stop, bright lights shining through people's windows, the traffic issues we have had, the dirt, the dust, the rats that have came along with the dirt and dust, and now there's cracks appearing in ceilings and walls, and it's just too much.
Some residents are surrounded on 3 sides, and they fear there will be no respite.
It's bad now, but the big fear is it'll get even worse when the interchange starts.
Massive buildings are going up all around us, and the latest being the big car park up against people's homes.
We always lived locally, but we decided to move to this part of the area because it was a quiet place, a great place, peaceful, a lovely place to raise our kids. But that's all changed now.
The Isham Community Trust is doing all it can to support residents. Now, the York Street interchange apparently is costing £165 million. The new University of Ulster campus, £300 million. Yet there is little or no resource being provided to the community sector here to assist residents. The statutory authorities need to get real here. They need to start demonstrating greater responsibility, and they need to start providing real and meaningful resources to help this community.
The rest of Europe, indeed much of the rest of the developed world, are giving up on these major urban road projects. More important in the contemporary world is the need to protect the integrity of the city. That is to ensure it is internally connected for communities and particularly for people walking and cycling. As Jane Jacobs once said, the whole city should be our neighbourhood.
If we want to make this a sustainable city for living in again, we need to demonstrate that residents' life quality truly matters. Otherwise, why will anyone choose to live in this new emerging city? How residents are treated now and in the coming years is an indicator of the values this city places on its future renewal.